right into this. An article came out, very interesting. I'm talking about the 6 parenting traps that will turn your kid into a sociopath. So fairly serious stuff. And we all want our kids to turn out well, but at times we want these good things, but we don't maybe give boundaries to our kids. So the type of things, the 6 tips they're talking about is 1, no limits, no consequences, inappropriate reactions, no values, inappropriate protection, and then no perspective. So a very interesting article written. I'm wondering, when you see this list, is there something that pops out at you that as parents we have to do for our kids to make sure they don't turn out into these sociopaths?
Well, I think definitely setting limits is probably one of the most important things. I think kids feel more secure when they know their limits and they feel comforted by that. It also allows them to take a little bit of risk if they kind of know that they have this safe zone to play in. But I find it really hard to believe that anybody is fully raising their child with all 6 of those, because that would be...
Well, that would be neglect.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That would be child abuse if you're not setting any kind of limits or any kind of consequences. It's like some parents just didn't go far enough in the book on parenting. Like you do have to, empathize, validate the kid, whatever their behaviors, their feelings and thoughts, and that's all good. You do have to do that. But there's another step, right? Yep. Once you do all of that, you still have to set limits. You can't just expect kids to figure that out on their own, because some kids are really going to push it and other kids are really not going to push it enough. So you do want to be able to encourage that. But I think that it is a fair point that a lot of parents have gone too much in just validating and empathizing.
Absolutely.
And then they forget that, oh, by the way, the last step is setting limits. But that's also, I think, what speaks to like generational factors. Every generation, we all think that our kids aren't raising the kids properly.
Yeah.
Right? Like my parents were probably too soft on me and their parents were too hard on them. And so we go through these phases over the generations, and maybe if we're too soft on this generation, the next generation is going to be too hard on their kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's an interesting conversation. When I look at this list, the one that jumps off for me is inappropriate protection. So what they mean by that is that the child's never wrong, whether it's a teacher, another parent, a coach, whatever, the bus driver, little Johnny is never wrong. And it's interesting because I remember when I was younger, I was so fearful of all those people I just mentioned. Even if they looked at me, I was melting, softy. Now I see parents going the other way. Well, no, the teacher's not doing it right. That's what I see more often than not. Am I wrong in what I'm seeing? And your kids are a little older than mine.
No, I absolutely agree. I think we have taken the power out of and the authority away from teachers and bus drivers.
Okay.
My kids take the bus to school. There's one child on the bus who is a problem. Like, he is a troublemaker. And I've called the bus company and I'm like, it's a safety issue at this point. And they're like, well, we can't do anything. Like, how can you not do something to protect the safety of other children? You're essentially letting this little heathen run the bus.
Right.
Is ignorant and it's neglectful, right? If we're all on the same page about trying to produce happy and healthy kids, then we have to set limits as part of that, because society has limits. We're all bound by laws and social norms that we do have to some extent, be able to navigate. So if you're not pushing up against that stuff and you're not receiving feedback on it, those kids are going to be lost. For any of those kids that actually are having parents that are following those, no punishment and everything you agree with, like that's really just crazy stuff. You're doing nothing but hurting your child. The first time the kid hears something like he did that wrong or he answered that question wrong, he's gonna, think that he's better than the teacher or think that he knows more than the bus driver. I don't respond very well to that. You're a 9-year-old and you're telling me that you didn't have enough ice time. I don't want to hear that. I don't really care what you think.
Yeah. Well, and then you take it into the workplace. I mean, how many of these kids are going to start jobs working for other people? And, well, if you don't do what your boss tells you, you're going to get fired. I mean, it's plain and simple. They're not going to listen to your mom coming in and saying, well, you need to give them a chance and, all of that. It's, sorry, you need to follow my rules or you get out.
Well, it's teaching kids respect, right? That they have to respect, even if they don't agree or understand with what someone is telling them to do or they don't quite get it. They still have to respect that there's authority there that maybe they don't get. and maybe they will later, or maybe they won't. But you don't have to agree or understand something in order to respect it.
Absolutely.
Right? And we're, you know, in relationships, that's the same thing, right? I don't agree with watching The Voice 3 times a week, but I'm going to have to respect it if I want to have a decent household.
Oh, The Voice isn't at the top of your list, eh? What do you PVR at home? I'm interested to know.
Well, right now I'm PVRing the Oilers game.
Okay, yeah, okay. That starts up right away.
And I'm PVRing this.
Okay, yeah, right. Okay, those are
So that I can narcissistically watch myself later and be happy about it. But, you know, you're talking about like the, let's say, like Veep is probably the best show.
Okay.
I love Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Okay.
You know, Modern Family, stuff like that.
Well, Modern Family's right on after our show. Perfect.
What a coincidence.
As always, thank you very much. Great insight, everybody. Have a great rest of the week.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, but is there anything you want to say as we go to break? Say hello to yourself at home when you're watching.
Say hi, Jason, and hi, Vaughn and Dexter. Yeah, you did a great job tonight.
Yeah. We're going to break. Bridget Ryan coming back. Yeah, you do look great. You look great today.